I'm Linda Deir.
And I'm Ray Holley.
All right.
Hi, everybody.
And each week in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, I ask my guides, what's the most important thing for you to know right now? We channel these insights using Ask the Universal Channel, the same way your guides interact with you in a personal angel coaching session with me. And we do these angel coaching sessions over the phone or on live video, just like we're doing right now with this event. I'm the author of Guided, winner of the 2017 International Body, Mind, Spirit Book Award. My Guided Journey is the companion journal to Guided, and it's my fourth book. The work in progress version is available as a free download on my website at lindadeir.com. So be sure you have that. You guys will be using that a lot to as I work with you and help you make this awesome connection to your guidance. Tonight, the guides will be answering your questions about when you write it down, it becomes still. This was published today in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights. And as I'm reading this insight, are we frozen, Ray?
No, it shouldn't be.
It looks like we are, but maybe it's just that screen.
Yep, could be.
Okay, hold on a minute. Let's make sure. It looks like it's okay over here. So it looks like it might just be a problem up there.
Let's see.
So I'm going to keep going, Ray.
Keep going.
Okay, so as I'm reading the insight, listen to the messages you will be getting. Feel what that feels like, and write your realizations into part 3 of My Guided Journey, because this is all guidance. After I finish reading today's insight, we will be taking your questions and comments. You will get to talk directly to your guides about what this insight means in your life. To do this, type your question or comment in the Q&A box located at the bottom of this Zoom page about what this insight triggered in you. And then Ray will open the mic so you can talk with us and your guides. All right, so I'm going to read the insight. It looks like that computer had a little blip, huh, Ray?
Yeah, that's okay. You're going to have to watch down here.
Not a problem.
Facebook is still fine.
Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to read the insight now. When you write it down, it becomes still. Everything is energy and in a constant state of motion. That is, until you write it down, that's when it becomes still. The only way you will know for sure what to do and when to do it is when you have a map. This map consists of guidance you are always being sent from us, your guides. It shows you how you got where you are and the choices you made along the way. It points you in a clear direction. Without a map of the guidance your guides are always sending you, it would be lost. This guidance is collected by writing it in your journal. It's your point of reference, your unwavering compass. How do you look at your past or what just happened? Do you look back and see things that happened? And are they different from how you remembered them? Only once you take the time to write guidance down can you begin to examine it. Once you commit it to paper, only then does it become still, so you can look at it from a distance as an observer rather than a participant. This is particularly important since you get guidance every day and miss most of it. Write that guidance down in your journal so you can study it over time. You are looking for patterns and clues in the guidance that comes through on different days that has a common thread running through it. It's all about making the connection so you can see the clear direction you are being guided to go. Many times the guidance you receive is not complete until you get additional guidance that brings it all together, and then it makes sense. It's a map for your life. This guidance could come through over a period of days, weeks, months, or even years. It's all important to the big picture of your life. This guidance that we are always sending comes through your dreams or the first thing that comes to mind when you wake up, driving, listening to music, in the shower, and doing mindless things of any kind. Our guidance comes to you so naturally that many times you will assume it came from you. Write it down anyway, because until it is still, can you see and feel the difference between what came from you and what came from us? Looking back, it will all fall together like chapters in a book. Not writing it all down would be like picking up a book and reading chapter 15, then chapter 8, then chapter 32. The book wouldn't make any sense. You would be reading it out of context, just like trying to remember what happened in your life, let alone the meaning and direction of your story. Not writing the guidance down the moment it comes through would make it impossible to unravel later to see the natural unfolding of your life. If you have never experienced this before, then you are in for an exciting adventure. You will understand what it feels like to be in the flow and out of resistance. By writing your guidance down as it happens, by writing the guidance down as it happens, there's a better chance that you will tell it like it happened without writing it down the way you wanted it to happen. It also provides the opportunity for you to come back and review it. That's when you will experience those aha moments as you see how it all fits together. You will see how what was sent as guidance 6 months ago has relevance in your life now. Capturing the guidance as it comes through will show you the complete picture of your life going forward. You will know what to do, and the confusion will be a thing of the past. Summary. Guidance is many times incomplete at the moment a single piece of guidance comes through. By writing down each piece of guidance, you will begin to see patterns emerging in the future. If you miss part of the guidance because you neglected to write it down, it's like buying a book that has missing chapters. How it works. When you write your guidance down in your journal, it becomes still. This is how you isolate it. Writing it down not only brings that guidance into this world, but prevents it from future distortions or forgetting it entirely. A major benefit of writing it down is that you will be improving your connection to your guides. Your growing awareness of this timely guidance will be greatly improved as you continue to practice this. For the first time ever, you will have a map for your life, pointing you in the right direction. As you continue to write your guidance in your journal, you will experience times when you act on the guidance before you even have a chance to write it down. At this point, you are more connected to your guides and the universe than ever before. Your life will have direction and meaning. You will be in the right place at the right time. You will feel the connection. You will realize you are never alone and always being guided. Doubt will be leaving you and the struggle will be over. All right, Ray Holley.
That's very good.
No. All right.
I have a question, but I'm going to get everybody rolling here first.
Okay, good.
Okay, let's see who's here. Joy, we're going to unmute Joy there. Hi, Joy.
Hey, how you doing?
Let's see.
There, is my sound on, Ray? There we go.
There we go.
I hear her.
And
Yeah.
there's somebody we haven't seen for a while. Hi, Jane. And somebody new. Marcel, hi. How are you?
Hi, Marcel.
Who's your friend?
Can we hear her?
Oh,
Can we hear you, Marcel?
Here we go. I'm going to unmute her.
Okay, hold on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
There
now
we
we
go.
can.
Now,
Oh,
who do we
how
have?
cute.
What do we have there? A little what?
This is Samson, and then over here I got my Delilah.
Oh, Samson Gorilla. That's funny.
That's great. We're
That's
happy
cute.
to have you guys,
Thanks.
and so glad to have. What's the name?
Jane.
No, what's the lady on the bottom right?
That's Marcel.
Marcel. So
And here's
happy.
Jane. I'm going to turn
Jane.
Jane on here.
Okay,
Hi, Jane.
Hello.
there's
Hola.
Jane. And we have Joy at the top. Joy, can we hear you?
Yep.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
we can hear. We can
Okay.
There you go.
All right. Okay.
Can
So,
I make a comment?
Sure.
please.
I wanted to let you know, Linda, that I'm from, and you're probably the only person that will know where it is, Orangevale.
I do know where it is.
Uh-huh.
I built a subdivision of duplexes in
Yeah.
Orangeville. I did.
Cool.
Small. You might even be living in one of them. Who knows?
I know. I love it.
Linda built what? Thousands of homes all over
I
Northern
did.
California and Lake Tahoe. And
Yeah.
I just moved from Rancho, so not too far away. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
Now wait a minute. Who moved?
Joy.
Yeah.
Joy's living where? Mississippi now? Mississippi?
Yes, moved from Rancho Cordova.
Oh
Wow.
my God. I
Yeah.
did not know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Boy, it is a small world, isn't it, you guys?
It is.
I love this. I love this. Yeah. So all of you read Guided, right?
Yes.
Is that
Yes.
true? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you know where you've got my footprint. You know where I've been my life. You know. So
They're still looking for you up there in Northern California.
Yeah.
I bet.
they're still looking for you, Ray. They're still looking for all of us. You know?
Yeah. Whatever happened to Ray?
So you guys, what questions do you have around the insight today? I know you have questions around this.
Writing it down.
Writing it down. It's all. Are you guys writing the guidance down now that you get?
No. No. I'm totally slacked. Again.
Again,
Okay.
Again.
Who
I
said
need to get back on it.
Jane.
Jane. Okay. Okay. So what's going to happen? Joy, are you writing it down?
Yeah, I have a little notebook that when I get something, but in your part 3, I could write it down there also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You're
why you
guided.
want to do it, right? Because on part 3, I've got the little. We actually copied those pages out of the book. Put that up there, Ray. On part 3, you've got. Yeah. Well, you can see right there how well it's displaying. Okay. On part 3, it gives you little check boxes so that each time you have guidance come through, it suggests that you mark out in those boxes as you move through the journal how you got the guidance, what made you feel like it was guidance, and stuff like that. Okay, because as you answer those questions, as you continue to journal your journey, your life, all right, you're going to be more sure as you go forward that I know that was guidance because this is how it felt. And it asks you to write those things down in there. That's what makes my guided journey, this journal, more refined when you use it. And then throughout, as you're writing your little your journey down, could you talk about it, Ray?
Yeah, you know, what's nice about the little boxes up front is that where did the guidance come from? Where did you get it? And there's dreams, and were you awake? Were you driving? Were you in the shower? You know, did you get it from a song or something a person said to you?
Right.
You can go back in the future and you can say, wow, this came from a dream. And then this one came. You can find out all the guidance that came through your dreams.
The pattern
Right.
that's building, and what the guides are, how they most of the time are what you're connecting with. They're sending you guidance all the time. You're missing most of it. Most everybody misses most of it because it's just always there. But the primary times when we really need to pay attention and grab that guidance, you're going to see the pattern that builds. How is it that I am able to receive their guidance most of the time? Oh, it seems to be happening in dreams. You'll start noticing that. Or it might be 6 months later, after seeing it come through the dreams most of the time, now you start connecting with it when you're driving to work. or going, driving anywhere in the car. Wow, I seem to just be on. When I get in my car, this guidance just comes right through. An example in my life is, it started with dreams for me, is where it started. That's where it's the easiest place to reach you, is in your dreams. And the reason that that's true is because your guides would prefer to communicate with you telepathically. That's their choice of communication. That's how they communicate with each other. Okay, so it's fast, it's instant, and it's never misunderstood. You always get it exactly the way they intended it, all right? And then, of course, there's always the way we do it, where we work with you, and they speak to you word for word right through this Ask the Universal channel. But my example of that now, I mean, I've been doing this my whole life. The trigger for me is the instant, and it comes through all day long, but this is where they really come at me, where I seem to be really open to the guidance the most, is just before I get in the shower. I mean, it's gotten so much that way that I have a recorder hanging on a hook right outside the shower so I don't electrocute myself, And as soon as it starts flooding through, because it comes through so fast, there's no way I could ever remember. I'm sitting in the shower and out of the, around the door, telling in the recorder what just came through, because it's amazing. It's, I can't miss it. I can't forget it. It's important for the project. They're helping me remember something or take care of a detail I totally overlooked. That's how they help you. I mean, when you've got this guidance with your guides, you can't miss. You just can't. You're on. And at different times in your life, you'll find that you're more open to the guidance in different places, like I just explained, okay? For me, it happens to be stepping into the shower. It's just like an explosion of guidance comes through. So was I blocking it before that? Well, I was on the phone, and, I was interrupted and all this kind of other stuff. And I had to, take care of this stuff I really didn't want to deal with, but I had to, So I wasn't maybe open, my mind wasn't open. I was, sucked into stuff, like we get, right? And, but just before I get in the shower, I'm just thinking, oh, this is going to feel great. See, that's when they come through. But when you're in a dream, you're completely out of the way. So that's when they're like, oh yeah, now we can get her, It's great. So how do you guys get your guidance? Do you know how most of the time it comes through?
Shower. That's why I'm laughing the whole time you said that. In the shower.
It's crazy.
You all have the boards, right? You have a board. Jane, do you have a board? Talking board?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Marcel, do you have the talking board?
I do not. I just was looking at that online today.
Yeah.
There's 3 different versions, and they're all a little different. This one here is the original.
Yeah, this
is the manufactured version.
That's one we're using here.
That's the one you see right here.
Yeah.
And it comes with a speller.
Right.
Okay.
And the story behind this, real quick, Marcel, is they came to me in 1988. I was taking dream classes for several years, and my dream teacher had me over for dinner one night, and I didn't know why. We weren't chummy, but I really liked her dream classes. She was really a good dream teacher, and I was really connecting with it. So even though I wasn't her, I wouldn't say I was her fan, I did respect her as a teacher. She was really good. And she had me over for dinner, so I thought, well, okay, but I'm not sure why you're having me over since we're not real buddies, So I showed up, and they made her and her partner, her friend, had this dinner that they brought in, that they just, here, eat this, and then took it off the table and threw a pad of paper at me and a pen and said, just start writing. They wanted to get this over with, okay? And I didn't even know what was going to happen. They brought the Ouija board out, and they started channeling my guides. And I mean, they were fast. They were as fast at using their Ouija board as Ray and I are at using Ask the Universal channel. And what it turns out that their guides that they were channeling, clandestinely, in secret, not letting anybody know, just between the two of them, were connecting with amazing sources of information and guidance. And their guide said, we want you to have Linda into a session. And they said, yeah, we'll get around to that. And so they kept, putting it off and putting it off. A couple weeks later, their guides came back through and said, did you set that session up with Linda? And they said, no. And they said, well, we won't be coming through. We won't be accessible to you anymore until you perform on this. It was amazing. So that's why they had me over for dinner, because they needed to get this out of the way so they could have access to their guides again, right? That's how it happened. Yeah, that's a real story. So they had me over. It's the first time I had an experience with channeling information that way. And my guides came through, and they told me many things. It's an amazing story. Actually, it's on the channeledreadings.com website for it's the story. It's called The Story about this talking board, and you can read it there. And they came through, and the primary reason they had me over is they told me they wanted me to create a talking board that did not cause fear and caution. One where they could reach humanity on a higher level, where as times get more difficult, they'd have a way to reach them and help them navigate through these challenging times. So that's how this came about. Now, my background, architecture, and all this, and they knew when I focused on a project, I saw it through, and I've always been that way. So I had this, in my dreams, they came through and showed me how they wanted this to be designed. They showed me that they wanted it optimized for the use with the pendulum. And this is real tight. You can use this with the pendulum easily. This is our pendulum, by the way. It's available on the Linda Deir website. And
that's my favorite one. You know why?
Why, Ray?
Because it comes to a point.
Right.
It's a hematite, right?
Right.
It's a hematite stone, and there's a picture of the spirit guide there, and there's a message on the back from the spirit guides. But it has the hardware down here. You can hook any kind of stone or crystal or
lift it up,
whatever you want. You can disconnect it right here, and you can hook your own crystals or your own stones, whatever you like to do. If you have a metal or a crystal or a stone. But what I like about this one is the point. When you're using the online,
we have 3 versions of this.
When you're using the SC Universal Channel, the online digital version, it's real tight on your phone.
On your phone.
Because it's only about maybe
your phone,
yeah, about that big on the face of your phone. So it's real tight, and you can see which letters or numbers that the pendulum's pointing to.
So this has been optimized for all versions of SC Universal Channel, is what Ray's saying.
Right, because this is like 8.5 inches in diameter, whereas other talking boards have been designed. They're all over, and they're in different spots, and this is all within a real short diameter, maybe 6 inches there.
Yeah. So anyway, they asked me to create this. I had, through my dreams, they were showing me how they wanted this to look, the size they wanted it, the specifications, everything. And so I had this completely done about 4 months after this first channeling session. This was completely designed and created, and the manufacturing was done by August. So it took, 8 months before it was completely done. And it was, and we were on our way with this. So, and that was in 1989, all right, when it was done. So
that's like almost a 30-year anniversary since the day they told you they wanted you to make this.
Right, 30 years in December. So it's a well-seasoned talking board, and it was beta tested for about a year. Well, not quite a year, but throughout that time while it was under production. And I was beta testing it with all of those people that originally invited me in. They all adopted this talking board and threw the Ouija board right out because it's like really big and gaudy to use. It's clunky. This is really, really, really smooth. So
plus having it on your phone or on your iPad or your tablet.
It's always with you.
Yeah, you always have it with you.
Yeah.
You can use your finger.
Mouse.
Or your mouse, or you can use your pendulum.
Right. It's really, really cool. So, so anyway, that's how this came about, and that's how we speak. That's how today, when you ask a question of your guides about how am I, you might want to ask your guides a question like this. How am I doing with connecting with the guidance that you are sending me? How am I doing? Where is it that I'm the most available to receive that guidance right now? Where is it that I'm easiest to connect with regarding your guidance so I don't miss it? And what do I need to do to improve on receiving it? That would be a good question today, all right?
Let's do it.
Okay, because that's what's happening. They're talking about you have to write it down so it becomes still. And until you freeze it into this dimension, you take it out of the ethers, you know. Once you get guidance, it's kind of just floating around out there. But then when you write it down, when you actually take the time, get this, it's free. It's on my website. It's on the homepage. It's free. Download it. The published version of this, the completed version of it, will be available by September. Next month, we'll have this on Amazon, and you can get it there for $10.99. And it will include the MP3s for all the chapters in part 2. There's 18 of them that walk you through it. Okay, it's really good. So you don't have to sit there and grind away, you know, and try to figure it out. It's got that. That's what really helps you take the journey in my guided journal. In part 2 is that the MP3s. Right now we have the videos on the blog posts for my guided journey. You can go there and watch the videos. But when you have the MP3s, you can put them on your device and hear them anywhere, driving to work or where, you know, sweeping the floors. I don't know. You don't have to be stuck at your computer to experience that and connect with that, because taking the journey in part 2, what it does is it takes you back to the beginning of your life when you came in with that connection to your guides. You had that connection when you first came here. And how did you lose it? I tell your story as a little kid, as you were growing up, about what happened and how you lost it. It's really good. It's like hearing your story. And when you hear it, it's like, oh God, that is right. You'll remember it. And that will fire you back up again. You'll be moving in that direction again. You'll be open again, like you were when you first came here, to receiving that guidance. I gotta say that this is a really brilliant journal. This is really working well for a lot of people. So anyway, this is important. All right. Get it on my website, but then it'll be available. Everything that's up to date. The journal will not be kept up to date on my website, but the book that's going to be published in September is the refined version of it. So, okay, so that's what they want to know. They want to know, each and every one of you want to know individually, because this is not a generic answer. Each one of you are unique, and you have your own guides and your own way of connecting, all right? Where you are right now in your life, first of all, how are you doing with that? And where are you the most open? And what is it you need to do to make this connection even easier? This, you know, instead of missing like this, really make that connection with your guides, and they're going to help you with that. They know right where you are, all right? No one knows you better than your guides, including yourself, all right? So who wants to start? Joy. I love it, Joy. That's great. All right. And anytime you sit down or anytime you want to make this connection to your guides, breathe. Breathing is the pillar to doing this. Okay, it's number one. What we do in our life is we breathe really shallow. And when we do that, we just cut it all off, you know. And breathe when you breathe. Breathe like you're reaching for that yawn breath, all right? So I'm going to go there with you, okay? And stretch out your upper back. You'll see me stretch my shoulders, my back, my neck. I'm just letting all that stress go, all right? Let it all go. And really breathe. And get used to doing this, all right? If you get that guidance just before you get in the shower, breathe before you walk to that shower door, all right? Go through this and breathe so that by the time you get to that shower, you are optimized to receive guidance. You are as good as you're going to get it right there, all right? All right, I'm almost there. I'm not quite catching that yawn. I'm almost there. So when we're doing this, I'll catch it. I'll be in it while we're doing this. So I almost have it, but not quite. You'll feel like that. I'm sharing that with you. I'm always candid with how this works for me so that you guys don't think, oh, she does it every time. Well, no, I don't. I don't always catch it every time, but I know how to do it, all right? And just keep myself open and loose and relaxed so guidance can come through. Joy.
Yes.
Our spirit guides and angels are here with us now. And they know what we're talking about. They know what you need to know. And here they go.
Hi, Joy. Isn't it fun being here with everyone? While you get much guidance coming through, it all ends up running together. Occasionally, like you said, you write it down. We said earlier that writing it down provides direction. If you don't write everything down, it's like somebody giving you directions on a trip, and you only write down bits and pieces of their directions. You miss much that was said in between, and you don't end up where you wanted to go. What's important between writing it down and not writing it down is not only the amount of guidance that comes through that you will need to access in the future, but the exactness of it. It's like people who remember things or think they remember something, and they remember it as they wanted it to happen at the time, and not exactly like it did happen. This is especially true when people get together and tell war stories.
Okay, we got to get on track with what got, okay. We got to get on track with how they're connecting with her right now and what's the best way and what she needs to do to improve on that. That's what this is about, right?
Okay. First, write down everything in your journal so you can connect the dots. Next, study how each piece of guidance came through so you can go to that place the next time and receive more. Don't try to overthink it or second guess anything that comes through, and you will avoid wondering if it came from us or you made it up.
Okay, so here's what I'm feeling with you. You know how you wake up in the morning and let's say a dream. Let's use sleep time as an analogy. And you wake up and you had a dream. You just woke up. You have that dream. And you were sleeping on this side. But when you woke up and you started thinking about it, you were sleeping on your back. Go back and lay back in the position you were in just before you woke up, when you were having that dream or when you remembered you had it. Go back into that same position. And that's how you're going to, and let yourself go back into that slumber, that twilight between this world and the other world. And that's where you're going to go back, and that's how you're going to remember it. Don't get out of bed and put your foot to the floor and expect to remember that dream when it's lucid, when it's so delicate and easy to dissipate, okay? It's still in the ethers. You haven't harnessed it yet. You haven't written it down, right? That's what you do with that. Now, what they're talking to you about, Joy, is did it happen like in the morning when you're having your coffee in the morning when there's nobody around? And is that when you feel that guidance come to you and you write it in your journal occasionally? You know, you're going to do it occasionally in the beginning because you guys are not used to this. So it will feel that way and it will be that way. But as you can start connecting with it, you'll be going, wait a minute, this is getting good. I'm actually doing this. Okay. And you'll have your little place wherever it is, getting in the car, the shower for Jane, you know, whatever that is, have something ready. I have that recorder right outside that shower door to grab it so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. But if you're driving your car, for example, and you can't stop, but the guidance just came through, here's the key. Until you can write it down, you say it out loud 3 times. You know, the keywords, say the keywords out loud 3 times. Don't say them in your head because that will dissipate too. You've got to bring it, ground it into this world as much as you can with what you're able to do in the moment that it happens. So even if you're in the shower, before you grab your recorder or you've got your little notepad out there next to your sink, say it out loud 3 times. The key words. And then when you walk over, write the keywords down, wipe yourself off, and then write down, look at those keywords and go trigger and write it all out. Does that help you, Joey, with this?
Yeah, it does. One question I had is, do you always ask your question out loud or can it just be in your head?
Both. Absolutely both. Do what it feels like to you to do. Okay, if you feel like, you know, and by the way, the reason you need to say it out loud, do you know why?
No.
If you're asking a question, your guides don't need you to say it out loud. That's not why you need to do it. You need to do it for you.
Okay.
You need to remember you asked the question. See, here's how guidance works. You don't have to ask a question to get the answer to a question. You can think about something, and that would be like, I'm trying to figure it out. But you're not thinking, you didn't really think about it like it was a question, but the universe and your guides grabbed it like it was a question, and they respond to that request. Okay? The question, the request, the thought, the wonder. Okay? Just like in your early life, when you wondered about something, You know, do you remember getting the answer pretty quickly when you were a kid? It's just like somehow you figured it out. Somehow you knew what to do. You knew where to go. Do you remember that, you guys? It seemed easy. I remember all that, okay, because I had this connection with my guides, and I remember having it. So I know how to take you back there and trigger you guys and wake you back up. That's where part 2 of my guided journey will wake you back up. That's why it's important for you to take the journey in part 2 of my guided journey. And you will be writing out. It's not just listening to something. You're going to be talking about and writing in your journal about what happened at those times in your life. It's like the dots, connecting the dots in your life. And all of a sudden, guess what? You got yourself back. You're not just a fragmented person, a person who's just in this world, and just a little part of you is kind of like, trying to, get this together over here, the part of you that came in whole, but lost it along the way. This gets you back to that wholeness, so that now you integrate these two. You're in this world and you bring your true self back into the picture. That's what this is about. When you do that, everything I'm talking to you guys about is easy. It's easy because you know you've got this connection back. You remember it. To act on these things and to do the things I'm telling you to do is a snap, because that's how you started. That's the way you did it when you first came here. And that's all you're doing is you're bringing that into play. It's brilliant.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's how you bring it back and you keep it. You see, when you were a little kid, how come you didn't keep it? How come you came in with it and you lost it? What caused you to lose it? Take the journey in part 2 and you'll see why. It's really, really an excellent journey.
It's a mind opener. I mean, when you go backwards through your life, a lot of people, most people can't remember much that happened before age 3 or 4. That's when they start to remember the things, But when you start walking yourself backwards in part 2 of the journal, you're amazed at what you can remember.
And in my life, as you know, at 20 months old, I was shocked into this life. All right. I was like, pow. I mean, it was so ridiculous, this family I was in. And then the guidance that came to me, okay, after when I was 20 months old and my mom almost killed me. That it actually pushed me through a door where the guidance, I woke up. I was conscious. I saw things for what they were. I couldn't pretend I couldn't see it when I did, okay? So that's why I know, that's why I was able to write this journal. Otherwise, I would have never had the memory, the recall, the connection to share this with you guys, okay? So that's what this is all about. That's why it's so different than any other book or journey will take you on. So, Joy, have you done that part?
I have not, because I have not finished all the videos, and you recommend doing all the videos first. Right.
Well, the videos, it should be a fun thing to do. How is it working out for you going through the videos, watching the videos?
Oh, I enjoy them. I really do.
Yeah. And does it trigger you? Does it wake that back up again?
Not all the way back to when I was little. And then I listen to my mother. She'll say, well, when I was 2 years old, I remember thinking those people when they said that. And I'm like, shoot, I can't remember what anybody said when I was 2. But,
yeah. That's what happens when you're trying to preserve the person who came into this world. You're trying to hold on to that, right? That connection.
Yeah.
But everyone in this world is trying to get you to acclimate to this world, yes. Right?
Yes.
So you got so waylaid by trying to get it right here, yes, that you just kind of pushed it all the way over here because, I mean, it just frightened you. That's what happened.
I might have to do it like Ray did it and start and go backwards.
That really helps.
Tell the rest of them what you did.
You
Ray.
found, I couldn't do. A lot of people can't get past the first one, the second one, fear, and
ask.
and ask, learning how to ask, because especially guys, they don't know how to ask because they don't ask for directions. When you're driving, they asking for help to a guy a lot of times is a sign of weakness.
It's true with everybody to some level where you don't know the answer to that. What's wrong with you? People are jerks the way they treat each other, especially when you're a kid. Oh man,
So I started around 14 on chapter 14.
Yeah. 14.
It's called chapters in the new book.
Yeah.
Chapter 14, and I went backwards one at a time until I found what triggered me when I was about 3.
First of all, just get to the quick of it, what was your first reaction when you realized what it was? I remember what it was.
Well, okay, help me out there.
You got mad.
Oh yeah, you might get mad at yourself.
Yeah, you will get mad. You'll go back and sometimes you'll look at it and go, you might get mad at yourself for going, God, I took that way too serious. Seriously.
Seriously.
But that's what you did. That's what you came in from, you've lived many lifetimes. So you came in to learn things in this lifetime, right? So it's not that you're stupid. It's not that you're slow. It's not that you don't get it, okay? It's that you came in to work those kind of things out in this lifetime. And some of us we're just really more sensitive. I'd say I was really sensitive when I came into this life, and then I picked that family. Whoa, okay? And it was so fearful to me that the fear actually was so powerful, it pushed me through it. Imagine that, where the fear is so intense, it's so ridiculous that you can't even, what happened for me is I couldn't, once I made this connection with my guides and I saw what they saw when they looked at me in the instant that I asked for that help and they showed up, and I saw what they saw, and I remembered who I was, where I came from, who my guides were. It just all came together. The veil came down. I got it. I mean, I was sensitive, but I was also then connected. So I was not afraid anymore. I wasn't even afraid of my mom killing me. It was okay, because I knew this was not all there was. That's what I learned from that moment that I met my guides. When I saw what they saw, when they saw me, I knew this was not all there was. I was taking this way too seriously. How about that? At 20 months old. So when you guys bump into yourself, that's what this is. When you write it down, when you finally write it down and you start to bring this back, okay, and make this connection with your guides, your lives will change forever. You'll look back at things that used to bother you or control you, and you'll go, oh, I can't believe I ever did that. But I can see why I did it. I didn't have this information. I didn't have this connection. And that's why you did it. You thought this was all there was. Of course, that's what you would do.
You go back and you find out that you were ill-equipped to make decisions when you were 3, 4. You made decisions. You made silly decisions that stayed with you the rest of your life based on things that people told you were true, told you what to do, told you what not to do, told you what to think about. And what happened is a pattern of decisions, bad decisions, followed you based upon what you thought was right at that time.
Or decisions that were not yours. They were
not your
right
decision,
for you. They wouldn't be, it's not necessarily true that they were bad, but that they weren't the best decision for you.
You didn't have the information to make the decision.
But you were forced to make them.
Right. You were forced to make decisions.
Right. So it's amazing. Isn't that something, you guys? And then we have to wonder why. Why do we keep picking that same type of person? What's wrong with me? Well, there's nothing wrong with you. It's that you came to that some conclusion when you were 3 years old or 4 years, 6 years old, 7, and you don't even remember doing it. It just was snap decision, and it went in, and it's been a root decision, a root place that you pull from each time that situation comes up, and there you are, and you're doing it all over again.
Picking the same kind of person.
You can't help it.
For your next relationship.
You can't help it. You can't help it, and it's not your fault. But you can do something about it. Okay.
Once you find out where you got off track, you can do something about it.
Right, exactly. So, who's next?
Look who joined us, Kathy.
Kathy, we always love you having you, Kathy.
Kathy lost the link, and Ray was able to save her today.
Oh, she did.
Right, you're the best.
I know.
Okay, so
Hey, I remember what people say they can't remember what you were told. You couldn't remember what your people told you.
at
what they
2
taught-
years old or
Yeah.
3, Joy.
I
Yeah.
was trying to think what I remember exactly what I heard most when I was like 2. Get down off of there.
Or no.
Don't touch that.
Aw.
No.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the kid's name? The kid's name, he'll tell you his name is No.
Yeah. What's your middle name? Mud.
Your name is
Remember how
Mud.
parents used to say that silly stuff? Your middle name is Mud, mister. It's going to be Mud. But I have a middle name. It's actually shocking when you go backwards through the
Yeah.
through the journal.
It's shocking in many ways. So you're going to have every emotion hit you just like it did when you first came here. You're revisiting that, and the videos and the MP3s make it possible for you to go back there and go, yeah, I remember that I remember all this now that it's being said this way. So okay, who's next?
Who's next?
I'll go.
Okay, Jane.
Jane will go. Okay, Jane. So Jane, where do you think that you said the shower, right?
It's a good place for me, yes.
Okay, your spirit guides and angels are here with us now, and they're going to tell you where they see you the most open to the guidance that they have been sending you all this time, and what you need to do to shine it up. Okay, and here they go.
Jane, while you are focusing on what comes your way in the shower, you mainly concern yourself with accepting it rather than challenging it and questioning it. We want you to realize that with the guidance we send you, you are rewriting your life. So you don't have to accept anything that just shows up.
Feedback on that, Jane.
I'm not sure I understand. I mean, I kind of understand.
Okay, say what you understand.
I understand how I used to think I had to accept everything that came to my way and that came into my life, and that wasn't true ever. I'm starting to understand that I can change it, especially when I'm listening to that inner guidance.
Let's let your guides respond to what you just said, and here they go.
Once you decide that you are not a victim of anything that happens in your life, then you will never again feel helpless in any situation. You want to look at the guidance and then ask, how do I apply this wisdom best right now in my life?
Okay, do you understand what they just said?
I think so.
Okay, talk about that.
So sometimes the guidance is very specific and it's about a specific topic. Sometimes it's sort of like words of wisdom that I hear like somebody's voice in my, actually, like I may have heard somebody actually say those words, and they kind of pop into my head like a memory. And I do say, yeah, I can do that. And then other times I think, nah, that's not guidance.
Okay.
So I can see that happening plenty. And as you said, writing it down and learning, and I'm getting better at that. I think I'm getting better at that. And
Are you using My Guided Journey to do it?
No, I have lots and lots and lots and lots of notebooks.
Okay. This is different, and this will, and have you, another thing about My Guided Journey is it'll take you on the journey, like I talked about earlier in part 2. That's a whole different part that gets you primed up to connect with the guidance. Because you know why? When you take the journey in part 2, it's because you're back now. And this part that I'm talking about, the you that came into this world in the beginning, never doubted itself. It never doubted itself. It didn't have the capacity to doubt itself until people in this world imposed different thoughts and ideas in your head that caused you to wonder if you had it together, if what you thought and felt was valid, if that's where it all started from. So that's why taking the journey back, My Guided Journey, it's important to do that.
I started it, but I felt very, one, I was resistant to it. I think I didn't want to remember any of it.
I know.
But also, being that I had to break out my laptop or a computer, I added that as another excuse. But really, the truth of it is, I think, is that I didn't want to remember. Not sure why, I just kind of don't. You know?
Yeah. And so just accept the fact that that's honest. That is so clean. I love that when people just go there and say, this is it, you know, and that just gets rid of all the BS on it, you know. So that's good. You pass that test, flying colors, all right. But when you go back and this new book, My Guided Journey is going to be published on Amazon in September, all right. And it comes with the MP3s.
That's cool.
You may be more aligned with the MP3s, Jane.
I think so.
Because
I really do. I love audiobooks. That's going to be me.
I think it'll help you. But what this did, there's never an accident, right? You took that little, you know, you skipped through it a little bit and said, not right now. You know?
Right. All right.
So it gives you a little taste of the journey that it's asking you to take. And now that you know what it is, when you actually do it, you say you get the one that's published and you get the MP3s and you move with that, then you are going to be okay with it. And you won't be watching the videos, you'll be hearing them. You'll be hearing the MP3s. It's just a different effect. So it's good that you at least took a first pass at what this is, so that you won't be so resistant to it. Yeah. So that'll be good. Now, did you get clear on this, where your guides were talking to you about where you are right now?
Yeah. And I think I already knew that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. What's good about you, Jane, is that you are getting the guidance you are. And you're just beginning to align with it. You're just getting,
I think so.
You're getting your sea legs underneath you.
I think it's my time. Yeah. I really do. I have a feeling it's my time. I'm getting like shivers as I think about it sometimes. And sometimes I can feel that clarity, and it's a wonderful feeling. And it took a long time, and it's going to be a lifelong process, I'm sure. And when we hear you tell your story about it was a rude awakening, that's to put it lightly, but it was an awakening, and it's something that we want that so badly. But at the same time, it can be gradual. It doesn't have to be a difficult process, even if we think we want it instantaneously. Maybe we don't. You know, maybe that's not the path for everyone.
That is wise. That is what Jane just said, you guys, is so true. And, you know, if you feel, here's what I say to people. I get a lot of people who come in that are anxious. They're really, I got to do this. I feel it. I want it. And that kind of feeling. It's like getting a jolt of awareness that comes from somewhere, and it's that readiness. You are ready, okay? And you can feel it physically in your body, and like you were explaining, Jane. But it doesn't have to be that urgency, okay? But for a lot of people, it is. They feel this urgency, like they're gonna miss it, type of feeling, And none of you are gonna miss it, by the way, just so you know that. All right. Okay. You're where you're supposed to be, right when you're supposed to be. And Jane, you're good. You're all good. Okay, who's next?
Okay, Marcel.
Marcel, this is a real treat for you. You haven't been with us before, but these ladies that are on with us are awesome. I mean, they're
old pros.
You guys couldn't be in better hands. And then, of course, you're with us. So,
I think Jane. Before we move on, I think Jane said something really important. Yeah. I knew that. See, you knew it all along, but what did it take for you to realize that I already knew that? Now, see, that's why my guided journey has a subtitle. It's called My Guided Journey of Self-Discovery and Personal Transformation. So, there's a lot. People say, well, a diary, a journal, you just write in there what you thought about that day or what you did that day at the beach or whatever. That's not what My Guided Journey is. It really is your journey backwards. It's like people who go and they go to the therapist for decades, every week, and they don't learn anything about themselves. The therapist doesn't ask them questions. It doesn't give them answers. It just is keeping them stuck at their level, and they haven't realized anything. Like you said, I knew that. They knew all the answers that they're looking for already. So when you go backwards, especially, I see how everybody has trouble with, a lot of people, with number 1 and number 2, fear. What was the first fear in your life?
It's like, whoa.
You don't want to go back and face that first fear in your life, because up until that time, you didn't have any fears. You came in here, it was bliss. And then one day that bliss was interrupted.
It's like a shock.
By people, society, parents, schools, everybody who interrupted your bliss by telling you what to think, what to do, what you couldn't think, what you couldn't do,
but it happened,
how you do this.
But it happened before that, just
right.
So you guys know in the journal, and somehow we're winding up there, and we can't help but talk about it. It's there. Part 2, chapter 1, fear, is, you'll read it in the newer book. The one thing that I give you a hint about what that first fear is in the published version. Shame. And it's not your shame. It's the shame you have for what happened around you. It's the shame you have for the person who just did that. It scared you. It went in. It's that kind of thing. It's not something that you want to revisit, but you got to do it because it's following you. It's a core feeling that hasn't been understood because it wasn't yours, and it feels like yours. So you're dedicated to that feeling, that fear. You see, it gets in the way. It interrupts our lives. It makes our lives less than sensational because it blocks that exuberance, because that fear gets in there and it interrupts it and it stalls us out. So that's why it has to be realized. It has to be only realized once. Once you remember it, you'll remember it from here. It will be coming from here, the truth center that tells you that truth, all right? And that's how you're going to break through it and realize it as you write it
down
in the journal.
And it becomes it becomes part of your reality right now.
Right.
It's right there staring you right in the face.
Right.
So now you can examine it. And you can face it and you can heal it. You can move on. Because part 3 my journal writing is
Is your
your
journey
journey forward.
Right.
The part 2 is your journey backwards.
Right.
Part 3 is your journey going forward with what you learned in part 2. It's a 3-part guided, my guided journey, and my journal writing is a 3-part, what Linda calls a guided journal writing system. There's never been anything like it.
No, it really pulls it all together. And you guys, I didn't even know that's what the guides were
Yeah.
doing as I'm writing these books, right? I had no idea. But I'll tell you what, my guided journey was a very intense experience for me. It was incredible, all right? And it almost made writing guided look easy.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how deep this thing goes. But it doesn't feel deep, but it is. It's simple, which makes it more difficult.
Right.
It's a very interesting. So
people say, write in your journal. Oh, that's easy. Well,
no, not if you
not if you're honest.
Not if you're doing it in a mindful way. And that's why taking what Ray's talking about, taking the journey in part 2, will bring the mindfulness back in. You will be back. You will be present. And as you go forward and you write in part 3, the journal writing, now you're back together and you're back in one piece. That's what this does. So anyway.
It goes right back to what the guide said to you, Jane. They said something about rewriting your life.
Mm-hmm. 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 It's going to be good to watch. It's going to be real interesting to watch you travel through this, Jane. You're on your way.
Okay. You're on, Marcel.
Okay. So, I mean, so far I feel like I get information through my dreams, but I don't quite know how to interpret it.
Right.
But, or when I first wake up, a song will come in my head. That's so far the main ways I feel like I get information.
Okay. So what we're going to have, like everybody else, your guides are going to talk to you about how they perceive, how you guys are communicating, okay, you and your guides, how it's going, and what they see about what you can do to shine that up, okay? And here they go. Marcel.
You must understand that you are more awake when you are sleeping than when you're awake through the day. It's in this dream time where we can reach you with new ideas, new perspectives, and guidance that you need to apply right away. So before you get out of bed each morning, write down everything you remember from your dreams. And even if it felt funny or awkward, it's still very important. It's the little things you think are menial that carry huge importance when it comes to your dreams.
Have you been writing them down?
I have not.
Okay, that's okay. Okay, here's a question for you, Marcel. Do you have like a little part of one of the dreams or something that you want clarity around? Because this is the opportunity right now. Your guides are with you in the dreams. They're sending you those dreams. They're going, it's like a whisper. They're right there trying to reach you so they can help guide you through your life like you guys agreed before you came here. That's their job. So do you want to take a look at that or not?
I gotta think of, I dream a lot.
Yeah,
and
that's good.
I remember a lot, but
that's so good.
But offhand, the other night I dreamt that I was with an ex-boyfriend from a long time ago, and I think he was cheating on me.
You mean in the dream?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And is that the whole dream?
No, but you know what? I can't remember now. Last night it was, I don't remember everything, but I was dreaming a lot about fish. And I don't know why I was dreaming about fish. My sister mentioned a fish yesterday, and I don't know if, I morphed it into a dream or what, but.
Okay, so do you know any more about the dream? Can you remember anything more than just saying it's about a fish? Any more detail? It's in the details where.
Yeah, and I can't. I just remember having fish laid out, and I need to write them down. Or I have a little recorder. I've actually gotten up because I was going to a dream interpretation class, and I actually had a dream. I got up and repeated it on my recorder. But the dream interpretation was it just seemed so hard to do when I went to the class that I think that's why I kind of went, oh, this is way too hard to have to figure out.
Mm.
So, I don't know if it was just her way of doing it, but yeah, but I know for a fact that I get a lot from my dreams. I just don't know how to figure them out.
Yeah, you need, okay, so just remember something, that the first time around you go to a dream class and it's the right thing to do because you have these great dreams, but maybe the dream class didn't really align with you. Don't give up, and it might be that you're going to get it through our project, but it might be that you'll get it from a different dream teacher too. So do not stop. Keep pursuing until you find that perfect avenue for you that you connect with. It's just like a connection. And now you're on your way. Now it's firing and you're connecting with it and you are getting this, So this thing with let's go back to the ex-boyfriend for a minute. The ex-boyfriend was cheating on you and we're going to work with that just to have something to work with you here. Mm-hmm. How did the dream, here's how this journal works, part 3. How did the dream make you feel? That's such a big question. Anytime you guys write your dreams down, you've got to answer, and it asks you that every time you have an insight or an intuitive hit in the shower or driving somewhere or a dream or whatever. Okay, how did it make you feel?
Yeah, I don't remember.
Wow, you don't remember how it made you feel. Did it make you feel?
I don't remember being upset by it.
Okay.
For some reason, just kind of like, oh, that was weird. Have a dream about that guy, and he was cheating on me.
Did you know he was doing that before you had that dream? Did you, from a long time ago, did you know that he actually did cheat on you?
Well, that particular boyfriend, he was not. We had a relationship, but he was not. He never committed, and it was kind of an understanding that he, And then I'd go, well, I really want to commit. And he'd go, well, I can't do that. So I never felt like he really cheated on me because he never.
The commitment wasn't there, right? You can't cheat on somebody that you haven't made a commitment to.
Right, exactly. So.
Okay, got it. So let's let you guys just tell you what they see about what that dream was, okay, and how come your past is coming back up like that? That's revisiting you.
That actually, yeah, it does kind of a lot.
What's missing that you didn't connect with at that time? And here they go.
Having a trusting relationship is important to you so much that when you had this dream that he was cheating on you, even though you weren't committed, it's an aspect of yourself and your beliefs around relationships when you have a committed relationship and the other person cheats on you. You feel hurt, but what that person really did was not cheat on you, but cheated on themselves.
Right. So here's what they said here in this interpretation of this, is that this is what I feel that they're conveying, is that I don't know how else to say this to you, Marcel, but I'm just going to say it, all right? You cheated on yourself. You want to know how you did that?
Mm-hmm.
You settled for that.
Yeah.
You allowed that to be in your life, and that's off the table for you. That is not who you are. You are the kind of person who demands and requires a committed relationship, because that's who you are. You commit. When you get into something that feels right to you, you're in.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're not in, and you allow that, you allow your standards to be lowered to be in that relationship, you cheated on yourself. So, dagnabbit, and this is where this is where these dreams get right in our faces. I mean, I know, and I've had dreams that they've just been so in my face, where I just bawl like a baby, like, God, oh my God. But you know what? It was the fast track to get into me, to waking me up, to you, to waking all of us up, you guys. All right. So again, the guidance is never meant to hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
It's meant to wake us up and stop wasting time. This is not you, Marcel. Don't you ever settle for that again, ever. Because it'll never work. It's not who you are. That's not your match.
Right. Exactly. And I did it more recently, so that probably is why it came up.
Very good. Very good. Good catch.
I went back to, and I'm like, I did actually say I can't do this because I want more. So I ended it. So.
Ooh. So you moved through this one quicker.
Yes, I did. I did.
Oh. That's Ray's clap right there. Do you like that? Isn't that a good one? I happen to like that one. So that's good. I love that.
That was very good. That was a good insight by you.
Well, I've worked with this. I've been getting real with myself my whole life. You guys, I see people that go through life, and then we're going to get to you, Kathy.
Okay.
I see people throughout my life where they've had this kind of cushy, pampered life, I guess you might say, where they've been able to be kind of, they haven't really had to look inside, and they're shallow, and they don't get it, but they don't really want to get it, and all that. And I look at that and I just go, wow, like I came into this world. It's almost like I got a bucket of cold water thrown in my face right from the go, right? I didn't get a chance to do any of that slacky stuff. So I think we're all kind of like the same, coming from the same thing, where we haven't had that luxury. And I'm really glad I didn't have it. This is by far more interesting and fun, getting to know who you are and being 100% present and not running on fear. It's great, So that's what this is really, bottom line, this is what this is all about, so you can live the life you intended before you got here.
Before those other people got in the way and destroyed it.
Well, they didn't destroy it, right? They
pushed you down the other road. You wanted to go this way, and they pushed you that way.
Well, that's what happened to Ray. See, that's why he says it that way. There's never an accident in the way somebody expresses themselves. That's what happened with Ray. And I didn't have that happen to me. I couldn't let it happen to me. I knew what I knew, so I couldn't go that way. But But for most people, that's what's happened. And believe it or not, you get it back. You get it back. You take that journey back, part 2, My Guided Journey, and you take it back and you get it back. You get yourself back. And you will feel every emotion there is as you move through that in order to pull yourself back into one piece. Because believe it or not, you've been largely living in this world, and just a little tiny bit of you is kind of like squeaking it back in, you know, but it's beat up and bloodied up, and it needs some repair. It needs to go back. It needs you to look back and investigate what happened to that little girl, you know, that little boy, and bring that, and not victim. This is not the victim part I'm talking about. This is the powerful part that came in, that got scared out of itself. Okay? And that's what you do. You bring that back before that fear grabbed it and snuffed it out. All right?
Very good.
Yeah. So, okay.
So, you know, just
Yeah.
from what I observed with Linda doing coaching, a lot of her coaching time is devoted to people with their dreams, understanding their dreams.
I had one guy, all he ever did, he'd go, okay, this guy was a speedball. He goes, got my dreams for Linda, are you ready? I said, yeah, I'm all ready for you. And he'd go through 20 dreams, just like bam, 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 just blowing through them.
What do they mean?
Had them all written down. This guy was amazing, all right? I was like, okay, I love this. It's like speed interpretation with their guides and with me helping, you know, explaining how it works. The guides came through one time and they said, you're the queen of how it works, Linda. That's your job.
Well,
They
you know,
come through and they say these things to you guys, and you just, you nail it, you know? And I didn't know that's what I was doing, but it turns out that you look at what you're doing, your dreams, you write it in your journal, you see the dots, you connect the dots, the patterns, and you look back and you go, oh my God, there it is. There I am. It's obvious. You know what's really going to get you is nobody brought it to your attention. If all these people that knew you so well and loved you so much really knew who you were, took the time to know you, they could have told you that. You know that? They could have. But they're not connected to their guides. They haven't healed their past. They're disjointed, okay? They're largely over here, and just a little tiny bit of them is over here. So they're not in one piece, so they're not present. And so they can't see it for themselves. How could they see it for you? See what I mean? So we're living in a society, a broken society. So you go back, I call it Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty took a great fall.
he did.
And
All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
right.
But
So
your dreams.
So this is, but let me finish that thought.
Uh-huh.
So here you are over here. You're crashing. Your life isn't working, or you keep doing the same damn thing. What is this? Okay, this is what it is. This needs. You got to go back and grab this back. You got to understand what that was, what happened. And once you do it once, you only have to take that trip once, only once. And then you got it written down. Until you write it down, does it become steel? It's in here. The evidence is right here, the proof. This is so important. I'll tell you one other reason why this is important. You get off track a little bit, you kind of veer off and you forget about, writing things down and staying tuned in. And you make some blunders. You go, oh my God, I can't do this. You go back to your journal writing you did in part 2, and you see where you're doing it again, where from that damaged part of your life, yep, there it is, right there. I got it. I will never do that again. I will not. When Marcel said, yeah, she just stepped in that one more time, but got out faster. All right. It's like seeing it on paper and going, clarity, I got it. I won't do that again. I see what I did. I slipped back. And you guys, all of you, will slip back. Guarantee you'll do it. The beauty here is if you have it all written out of taking that journey back, and you've written in every part of part 2, taking the journey, chapter 1 through 18, you write in every one of those that identify what happened back there. Some of it's great. Some of it, as you write it in there, you go, oh my God, that was the best year of my life. I loved it. Okay, that was great. Some of it's okay. And some of it needs some work, all right? You need to just write it in there. It will take care of itself. Once you daisy chain them together and you have the whole story written, this is your life, this is your story. So that's how you get yourself back together again. So when you slip up going forward, you're right back on track because you've got a place to refer back to. You don't have to do the work again. Okay?
That's what I like about you. She helps me so much with my dreams. You know, I'll tell her my dream. The first thing she asks me every morning, tell me about your dreams. I tell her about my dreams, and most of the time I can't put 2 and 2 together in my dreams. So, well, that's easy.
It's harder for the dreamer to see it than it is for someone who's helping you. Okay,
exactly, you know.
That's always. It's even true with me. I'll have a dream and I'll go, oh my God, I had this dream, and I'll go, Ray, I need to run this by you, and he does it, and
I can see it.
He's gotten so good at it. All right,
a good teacher.
It's awesome.
In fact, here's a little test. If you guys go to the internet to Google, and you type in dreamhelper.com, like hamburger helper, guess who shows up?
Awesome.
I know. I started that back in I'm going to say 1990. No, the internet. 94 probably. 95 is when I first got that name.
Well, what I've learned from her, telling her about my dreams, is to ask about, like Marcel, like your fish dream. Okay, it was kind of like, it was real short. You were there. You said there was a bunch of fish out in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they were laying on a table or something.
I think so. They're just fish laying there.
Just laying on a table. Okay. Well, the next thing you should ask yourself is, why were the fish there? Okay. And what does it mean? Well, I get it. Here's my hit. They were out of water. So you're out of their element. They're fish out of water. There's even a saying, fish out of water.
Right.
So I think if you were to ask why, what's going on, how does this apply to my life, is that you feel uncomfortable about something that's going on in your life right now that you're not comfortable with.
You're not a fit. You're
like a fish out of water.
That's a good.
So now you start.
I would need more information. Now,
right.
Ray is saying that, out of context because we don't have the whole dream.
Right.
But that's a good analogy as far as looking at those fish all slayed out,
They don't belong there.
Yeah, and especially if they were still flopping around.
Yeah. or weren't part of a sandwich.
I have a fish out of water right now.
Do you feel like it?
Well, in a sense, because I'm not working and I'm going crazy. I finally got a job. I'm going to go to work next week, but I feel really out of place. I'm not comfortable not having that,
So you've been a fish out of water.
I have been a fish out of water. I have.
Okay. And I could really get into that with you, Marcel, where you're getting, believe it or not, there's no accidents. And it's all, anytime we feel like that, like a fish, we've all felt like that at some point, you guys, where we felt like, things weren't connecting. What are we missing? What is going on? It's guidance. It's guidance trying to get us out of a rut, out of a pattern that we've been in for so long. And it's time for you to go this way now, and we just, and then we go, okay, it's time to go this way. So what way is that?
Yeah, that's the hard part.
And stuff. That would be a coaching session, Marcel. So
yeah, I'm thinking about it. I probably will.
Consider that. Okay, Kathy.
Yes.
What's going on, Kathy? Now, we've been in this. You were a little late tonight.
She lost the link.
What we're doing, just the short of it, is the session today, Linda's Weekly Guided Insight, is, help me out, right?
It is writing it. When you write it down, it becomes still.
It becomes still, all right? So that's why we got into these different things with everybody, so that they could begin to start writing it down, right? And realizing that, and by the way, we are here on Tuesdays to support you guys as you move through this. Okay, we do this because we really want to help you, and we know we can. All right. So
I was watching you on Facebook, so I caught most of it. I just couldn't get into the live.
Great. So you know where we are. So
So now tell her, I
Yeah.
sent her, she gave me a little message on Facebook that she lost the link,
Yeah.
couldn't get in,
Yep.
couldn't find it. I said, well, it came in this morning's Insight. So that's the only way you can get it now.
Kathy, what we did since that unfortunate situation, we won't get into that, but we, in order to avoid any nuisance coming in from outside, we only let people come in that have Linda's weekly guided insight, and we vet every one of those people. We don't assume they're all good,
Right.
so we vet them all, and that's how we do this. So it's
Safer.
that never happens again. So anyway, this is about your guides and how you have a connection to your guides, and where how you feel about the connection, where you think the connection is, and how you're doing as far as they're concerned. They will answer that. So do you have any specific question around it before we start?
I know, like Marcel said, I know I get a lot of guidance through my dreams, but I keep having this reoccurring dream. It's not exactly the same dream every time, but it's along the same theme every time.
Okay.
And I don't know, I can't get the message. I don't know what the message is, but I'm always with several different people, and it's like we're remodeling our house or something like that. And the house is always on a large body of water that I eventually wind up in a boat going somewhere in the water. That's really all I can remember is, and when I wake up, I have this feeling of familiarity, a longing to be there in that dream that stays with me throughout the day. It's like I get little flashes of the dream and that familiarity feeling, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, 2 questions. The water, is it calm or is it?
It's calm.
It's calm. And how do you feel? How does it feel like throughout the day? You feel this longing. Okay. How do you feel after you have this dream? What's the primary feeling?
It's kind of a joyful happiness.
Yeah. Okay. I'm feeling what this is. Okay. I don't always. Okay. Interpreting a dream isn't always mechanical. Like, oh, well, water means this, and it's about what you feel. All right. And these are. I'm going to let your guides talk to you about it.
Okay.
But I feel the dream. And how long have you been having this dream?
Months.
How many?
I would say 6 months.
Okay.
What happened right before you started having the dream?
When did your husband get sick?
7 months ago.
Okay, that's okay. Let the guides let her guides talk to you about this dream. All
Okay.
right, and here they go.
You are with several other people who all happen to be aspects or different strengths that you possess. The remodeling of the house is just as it seems. You are changing things around to accommodate something new in your life. The water is calm and not rough. It's an easy transition that has to do with emotional cleansing.
That makes perfect sense.
This changed you both.
Oh, yes, it did. I moved through fear through all this.
Here they go.
Fear would have shown up as rough waters.
Wow. That's awesome.
And this longing. Here they go.
Longing is just another word for not knowing right now. And if you dwell on it too much, it can become fear or doubt of the future.
This longing that you feel is something that has been missing for you for years. And it's finally coming together. This reorganize, this rearranging, this remodeling of the house is how you're doing it. That's just a metaphor for the different actions you're taking to see this through. All right. So it's the longing is that something has been missing. And so it's coming together. This longing is going to be resolved in this whole thing that you're going through, that remodeling, and it's a good feeling. It feels peaceful to you. You know, Kathy, you haven't been on a trajectory like this in many, many years.
Yes, I agree.
This has really changed you. How's your husband doing with all this, by the way?
He's doing really good, except he had a really bad day today. He is transitioning off the medications that they gave him, and so he's detoxing, I think.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of flu-like symptoms today. But he's really moving forward much faster than they anticipated. He's progressing very quickly.
It's great.
That happens a lot when you trying to get off medications.
Yes.
I forget, what's it called? A Martinson's effect or something like that. There's a name for it.
Hermixer, that's a different.
Herxheimer effect or something.
Yeah.
Well,
you know, Kathy, it's amazing what's happened. It's something that was so devastating turned out to be amazing for both of you.
Yes.
Yeah. So see how we can't anticipate things. We can't say based on past experiences, this is what's going to happen. Oh, you know, it's not true. Everything is guidance taking us where we're supposed to go, even if it seems even impossible sometimes. It's really guidance, you guys. And it's never meant to hurt us, ever, ever, ever. So do you guys all know that?
Yes, I definitely know it now.
Yeah, I know. Once you walk through something like that, and you know, it doesn't matter how it works out. I worked with a guy one time. He asked me to come. It's in guided. He was somebody I built a house for, and I moved out to Arizona, and I was coming back to see the kids, you know, and stuff like that once in a while. And he goes, "Are you coming out?" And I said, "I happen to be coming out this weekend. You know, you call me out of nowhere. I can't imagine that you would call me on the exact weekend I'm coming out." He goes, "Will you come and see me? Because I've got leukemia and it doesn't look like I'm going to make it." And I said, "Yeah, you know, I'll come and see you." And anyway, we went through this whole thing where, you know, we did this visualization. He got his white blood cell count under control by doing the visualization that we practiced together, that I was guided to do. I didn't even know what this was, you know. And I told him, and I agreed, and I came up with it. Of course, it wasn't his idea, to practice doing this visualization every night at 7:00 together, even though I was in a different time zone than him. We would do this together, and that after 30 days, he would be okay. So I got home and I was doing it. I'd sit on my bed, 7:00, and I just visualized, and I had this in front of me. that looked similar to what we used at his house. And I just, I saw how healthy his blood was getting. I saw how much better he was doing. He was back at work. Everything was going good. And then the second week I went, uh-oh, I feel a disconnection. He's not doing it with me. I can feel it. So I called him up and I said, so Tom, I said, how's it going? He goes, it's going really well, Linda. He goes, I haven't had to have any chemo. I'm good. The doctors can't believe that, And I said, so Tom, are you joining me at night at 7 o'clock? And he got quiet and he goes, no. And I said, that's okay. Because again, you guys, we don't know. We do not know. I said, it doesn't matter. He goes, I don't know why I don't want to do it, Linda, but I don't. I said, whoa. I said, it's going to be fine. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you do it. It doesn't matter if you do it. If you're, he goes, am I going to die? Because he was afraid, right? I said, I don't know. You might. I mean, if you're not doing this with me, I don't know. Tom, what do I know? And he was dead 4 months later, all right? And I said to him, I said, listen, you're not doing this with me. There's a reason you're not doing this with me. Even you don't know why you're not doing this with me. And now you're feeling guilty. So stop doing that. The guilt is the only part that's wrong with this. Don't go there. There's a reason you're not doing it. That's got so much wisdom in it. I don't even know what it is. I can't describe it to you. But you know what? He wasn't supposed to be here anymore. His contract was up and he felt the urge to go home, I didn't have any business butting into that. But I said, Tom, he had 2 young boys. I said, what I see that you can be possibly more help to your family from the other side than you are here. I don't know how that is. And I don't know what that is, but I know it's true. I know that happens. So I don't want you to overthink it, And yeah, he was gone 4 months later. Isn't that interesting? That's interesting. He could have stopped that. He could have interfered with that. But it was time for him to go home. His urge, the urge that brought him here, that same urge is what brought him back home.
Right.
Guess when it did. So you guys, we don't know. We don't know.
By you saying that, it brought to mind something that my talking board has been telling me, and I don't know what the message is. It keeps telling me Dad pays. Daddy, which is what I call my dad, Daddy pays.
Pays?
Yes.
P-A-Y-S?
P-A-Y.
Or Daddy pay?
Once it was P-A-Y, once it was P-E-Y. But it kept saying Dad pay. Daddy pay. And it said it 2 different sessions. It said that to me.
Okay, what did you feel from this? What is the feeling you have around this?
Well, I've been thinking about coming to Phoenix and how am I going to afford to do that.
Oh.
I don't know if it has something to do with that, but my dad's passed on, so I don't know how he could pay.
Okay, so let's let your guides just talk to you about what they're trying to convey. Here they go.
It's as if your father was telling you not to worry about finances. Everything will work out.
Okay.
What does Daddy pay? Explain the metaphor.
He would pay if he could. He thinks it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's another way of looking at that. It will pay off.
Yeah, in the long run.
It will pay off. See, what's going on with you, Kathy, is you're at a point in your life where things are just working. You're not resisting it. You're flowing with it. You're getting it. It's time. It's all just showing up and it's working out. So, Daddy pay, it's like he doesn't want you to stop. He doesn't want you to choke up and miss it, I guess, you know. And I don't know what it is. It's more than just your trip to Phoenix. It's more than that. What else is it?
It's a situation of seeing value in what you're doing, and he agrees.
And what's the value? Where's it gonna pay for Kathy?
Over the course of the rest of her life.
Oh, And what is that?
It's knowledge that he will apply that shows up as worth its weight in gold.
Are you retired right now, Kathy?
No, she's still working.
No.
Or no, you're still working. Oh, how long are you going to work at what you're doing?
At what I'm doing right now, my goal was to be out of this job in January, but then my husband got sick.
Oh, you mean January of 18?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
My
go ahead.
My guides tell me 8 more months. I'm transitioning. I want to transition into my Reiki practice.
Yeah.
And make that my full-time job.
Here they go.
It's the ability to impact others' lives versus working for a living.
That's the difference. That's what they don't want you to give up on.
You know, that's funny because they told me yesterday in my session, I asked why I was at the job I'm at, and they said to touch people's lives.
Okay, so and write this all down, Kathy.
I did.
Yeah, and because you see, if you don't write it down, you see what I'm saying, you guys? If you don't write it down, in 6 months from now, all these other things happen, and you've got nothing to refer back to keep you on the straight and narrow, to keep you true north on your path, all right? What Kathy's talking about, one of the things she's talking about with Phoenix, and we're going to bring it up, and then we're going to close the session, all right? Talk about what we're doing next week and close the session. We're going to have a 2-day workshop in Scottsdale, and Kathy, we've identified the place and the date. We got it all.
Today, we went there today.
Yeah, we're going to be doing it the first weekend of October. What are those days?
It's Saturday, Sunday, October 6th and 7th.
Right, and we've got the location. We're going to send you guys all the details, all right? And it's about, just so any of you that don't know, it's about how to use Ask the Universal Channel to communicate with your guides. And not communicate in a way where it's just yes, no, or think that the guidance you're getting through is all coming from your guides, because you will channel, at times channel your ego, not realizing you're doing it. And we're going to help you identify the difference between when that happens and when it's your guides, and when that happens and when it's your guides, so that you learn how to use this the right way. The key to using this and continuing to use it once you get home and doing and build this is to have a channeling partner. So when you come to this event, you want to have a channeling partner come with you so that you can learn this together the right way from the pros. Ray and I, we're the world's foremost authorities and teachers on the correct use of the talking board. So you're learning it from us, and you're learning it from us on site, and we're physically there teaching you, hands on.
It's an energy thing.
And it's energy, and we teach you automatic writing and all kinds of stuff, and it's fun, and you guys all have each other to do this with. And you can do this over Skype. You can do this on, right now we're doing this on Zoom. We have Ask the Universal Channel group on Facebook. That's a private closed group on every other Thursday, and we get this thing going strong enough with enough people, we'll fire that thing up every Thursday so you guys can practice and interact with each other on Zoom. Right now, Kathy and Veronica have been practicing with each other with their Ask the Universal channel over Veronica's Zoom platform. And it's been really helping you guys, right?
Really has.
So once you have this class with us, you go from, struggling to boom. You're not doing it as fast as we are, but some of you will be, and all of you will be way up here where you'll never go back down to this cretin way of working with us again.
Yeah, you won't feel nervous about what you're doing. Am I doing it right? Am I not doing it right?
You'll be way past all the elementary parts. You will have advanced so quickly. So if any of you want to go to this, you can email you, right, Ray?
Yeah, Ray at guidedpress.com.
Yep. And let Ray know, because it looks like this class is going to book up, and we're going to have the commitments in the next week. We need to have these commitments by next week.
Less than 10 days, so we can make sure we get the room.
Next week at this time.
To tell you what's going on. We looked at probably 5 or 6 different places. I called them all last week. There was this one place left that had an opening.
Wow.
Yeah. And this girl loves us. She said, I'm going to reserve it for you guys. I can't hold it more than a week, but it's the only place left. And she goes, she loved it. She likes it so much. She got guided, and she's a darling girl. She's like the angel in this arrangement, So
it's in the perfect location.
It is. It's awesome. So, and it's affordable. So
right, and it's a suite. It's Holiday Inn Express suites. So every room's a suite. So if you come with a friend, there's 2 big queen size beds, and there's 2 rooms, and
you can split the cost of the room.
Right.
And that'll really, really help with this. So if you guys are interested, email Ray right away.
Yep, Ray at guidedpress, guidedpress.com, Linda's publisher.
Right. And he'll email you the details, since he's going to put them together. He could email them to you by tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
I'll have it together by tomorrow.
Yeah, he'll put it all together. He's going to send it out to everybody who's interested, but any of you that want to do this, we would love to have you.
It's a beginner's class, so don't feel nervous.
Yeah. And
I have another one. I have a wedding that day.
You've got the perfect excuse.
I knew it was my childhood friend's daughter's wedding, or else I'd skip it.
Well, you've got to do that. Now, who said that, Marcella?
Yeah, Marcella. Yeah, the next one will be in the spring, because as of December and January, all the hotel rooms at least triple in Scottsdale.
It gets too expensive. So we don't get you guys booked up in those areas, okay? We always go outside of it, but real close to it, because that's when the weather's nice here, October's going to be nice weather. It's going to be warm, but it won't be 100. What was it today, Ray?
110 or 12 or something. I don't know.
It was really hot, you guys. But Orangeville knows what hot is.
Yeah, not that hot though.
Not that hot.
We just set a record for the most consecutive days over 110 ever in Arizona.
Oh man. So anyway, you guys let us know. We're getting close to having this thing booked up, and we'll be getting this to you. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to talk about, just for a moment, what we're going to do next week. And then we're going to close the session with the guide's closing message on our topic, when you write it down, it becomes still. So here I go. Tuesday, next week, August 21st. Watch or interact with us right here on Zoom. In Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, you will receive the link to join us, to talk to your guides and us and to the group, 6 p.m. Pacific and 9 p.m. Eastern. To be published next Tuesday morning in Linda's Weekly Guided Insights, the guides will be talking about your guides focus on the solution, not the problem. There exists a solution to every problem. If not, the problem wouldn't exist. Problems are opposite energy from the solutions that balance them out. However, when people have a problem in their life, The first thing they want is an easy, immediate fix, a silver bullet, a magic pill to make the problem and the pain go away. Since there is no such thing, here's what people do next. Dun.
What? What do they do next? Tell me. I have to wait till next week?
Oh, cliffhanger, huh?
A cliffhanger.
That's what those are, Kathy. So the guys, don't miss it. We want you guys to join us. We love you guys. And don't you love the special attention you get from your guides?
Yes, absolutely.
It's the best. And from us. Okay, so the guides are going to close this session with, when you write it down, it becomes still. And you guys are going to start writing it down a lot more. I can feel it. All right, and here they go.
Writing it down, and it becomes still. It's like a spiritual tranquilizer dart. It slows everything down so you can study it. It will uncover things, both good and bad, not just what you wanted to hear. Some of the things you write down will make you happy. Some you will be proud of. Others you will be ashamed of. Some will hurt you deeply and even break your heart. However, it's all you. It's a balance you are seeking in your life. It lets you know how important it is to study what happened, everything that happened, so you don't have to miss it again.
Like those dreams that you have that are repetitious. They keep happening and coming back. It's because it's trying to get through to you. It needs you to understand it and finally deal with it, you know. And that's why writing it down, it's 50% of the work, writing it down so that now you can see it with clarity. Maybe not at the moment you wrote it down. Most of the time, that will not happen. It'll be a week ago. It'll be a month ago that you look back at it and you go, oh, I see now. I get it now. Now I can face it or whatever, you know.
It's just like anything you want to hear. People tell you things. Well, I don't want to hear that now.
I know.
You know.
Yeah.
There's a reason why they said it now.
And sometimes it's getting you ready for a course correction. You know, in Guided, I talk about the time when I was in a home builder, and I was buried in projects like developing land. When you're a home builder and developing land and all that, you're a year and a half to 2 years out, and the big builders are out even farther than that, because you have to get the lots developed, and then you can get the permits, and then you design the house, you build the house. You know, I mean, there's so many steps to it, right? It took them, they started warning me like 20 months before the real estate crash happened. Well, that wasn't something that was going to happen right away, but it was preparing me for what was going to happen and did happen, right? So by the fact that I acted on it, I took the action the moment it came through. Okay. I stopped buying more land. I sold my inventory. I finished my projects and sold them, right? Got out of them. I got out of them like 3 months before the crash. That was a little bit too close for my liking, you know? And ever since then, when I get guidance, I'm on a project, I'm doing whatever, I always tell them, hey, give me some more lead time here, because I can't be, you know, hitting it that close. I'd rather have a little bit more time to get out of a situation that you see coming. So, and they let you know when to get into a situation too. Good news, bad news, right? But they're both good news if we just see it for what it is. Because, you know, you guys, we live in a world, it's volatile, nothing lasts forever. You know, you got to know when to get in and out, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's all it is. I never looked at it as good or bad, but not acting on it could have been, you know, very bad.
Yeah. But there's a lot of people who even come to Linda in a coaching session and said, now, they're not going to tell me anything bad now, are they?
And you know what that means when you feel like that is, that means that they're going to tell you something that you don't want to know. You know, you want to know it. You got the coaching session. You need to know it. But
maybe you already know it.
And it's like, oh, I didn't want to know it, maybe. But, you know, it doesn't mean that it's not true. It doesn't mean that it's not there. And what they do, they don't just tell you, they show you how to get through it.
Right.
They show you the steps to take. And then I help you with that too, how it works, right?
You're the how it works queen.
I know. And it's fun, you guys. See how they come through? They come through and say things. It's just.
It's like the dreams. The dreams are so much fun
they are,
to look at.
But you got to write them down.
Right.
You know? And sometimes we don't want to write these things down because, you know, it's just a little bit uncomfortable that we even got that information. But that's when you need to write it down even more. Okay? You guys.
Like those dreams. I wonder if MrDreamHelper.com is available.
Mr. Dream or Dream Helper. Dream Helper.
Right. Mr. Dream Helper.
You guys, next week, we love you all. And
thank you for joining us, Marcel.
And if you
we
want
hope to see you again.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, somebody's peeking up right over your shoulder.
Who is that?
That's Delilah.
Oh,
Isn't she cute?
Oh, what kind of what is that?
She's a cavapoo,
Oh, what?
a doxy mix and a cavapoo.
Oh, you have the sweetest angels, you do.
Yeah, they are.
Oh, man. See how she has someone that loves her, man. We always need someone around that. I got this guy right here. He gives me
Yeah, we're pretty busy for pets right now, but
yeah, we miss our little guy. But you know, when you're busy and you don't have time, it's not good to do.
If you're traveling, what do you do?
There's no way. No. So you guys, if you want to come to the event, if you want to come to this awesome workshop that's going to just move you up the ladder with this, and you won't struggle with this anymore. And then you can join us on Thursdays with everybody, and you'll have channeling partners from everywhere. Okay, it's a huge
to leap forward in what you thought you could do.
Right, exactly.
I see people change, you know, totally. Yeah. They're nervous when they come in the first day, and by the end of the 2 days, they're just like, "Wow, this is great."
Well, at that point they're planning when they can all get together, and when they can get together as a team, and when they can get together over the internet, and when they can get together like at certain events or come back to another. We have 4 versions of this workshop. We've got it starts with beginner, and we're going to be doing the beginner workshop. This. Yeah,
we'll probably do a couple beginners at first.
Yeah. And then as we get more people that are ready to take it to the next level, then, you know, you guys will excel so fast. And who knows what's going to happen from this? I mean, you could be doing this for other people and helping people. You know, it's a powerful process. This is not like reading cards. Reading cards is like, that's what that card means in your life right now. Well, I'd rather hear about what exactly from my guides and exactly what's going on with me. This is much more detailed, you know, than a flip of a card. So anyway, let us know. You guys, next week, we hope to see you here at same place, same time.
All right.
Okay.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. We love you all.